Regan Slaymaker for Notjustboxing, and I have the pleasure to be joined by Executive Vice President of DAZN, Ridout. Michael, an excellent press conference to kick off a huge fight for DAZN on July the 19th.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, spicy, you know. I was actually at the first fight in Poland, and there's a lot of talk, obviously, about the low blow. For me, the real story is Daniel is a much better fighter than he was that first fight. Oleksandr, you could say, probably is better fighter too. Amazing victories, obviously, over Usyk and over Tyson Fury and AJ Sins. But I think the real story here is Daniel is a better fighter, more experienced fighter, some great wins since his last fight here. So for me, that's the story, but the low blow will obviously be talked about because that was the controversial moment of the first fight.
Definitely as well. Of all the antics that Team Usyk have done, I think printing out photos of low blows was possibly one of the best things they've ever done. Interesting you say that as well. I put that question to Don Charles. I said, is Daniel the better fighter now? He said yes. And I asked if Usyk was the better fighter. He also said yes. So the challenge that they're coming into as well. I mean, how much of a coup is it? Obviously, Usyk's last few fights have been on DAZN. Even when they were on Sky Sports in the UK, they've been on DAZN in the UK. It's such a massive coup to have the face of the heavyweight division on DAZN, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah, look, when we agreed our deal with Queensberry, we challenged them, bring us the biggest fights. And we know how big they are in the heavyweight division. They've made a real conscious effort the last few years to sign the biggest heavyweight talents out there. And the idea is, if you don't have the best fighters, at least be in a position to have your fighters fight the best. And that's exactly what they've done. They got Daniel to an incredible position. He became world champion. He became the obvious fight for Oleksandr Usyk to again unify the division. And I'm just so delighted that we get the deal done, to have it here at Wembley Stadium, where it should be, in front of, I think, the best boxing fans in the world, the UK fans, following an incredible Saturday night that we just had with Benn and Eubank, obviously. It's going to be a brilliant night. And, you know, as I said up there, if you're not one of the 90,000 to have a ticket, you can watch it live on DAZN.
Definitely as well. We'll talk about last Saturday as well. I mean, Benn and Eubank. I mean, I've been around the whole week. I was working the whole week. I mean, that surely was a massive success for DAZN. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the roar from the crowd when Senior came out of the lift and everything like that. Just talk to me from a DAZN perspective. How much of a success was Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn?
You know what? I think that was my proudest moment of the whole week. The way that the guys produced that moment with Senior coming out the car, and not many people will know this, but it was a very, very few amount of people in our truck who knew that was happening. We got the heads up about 10 minutes before the Senior was in the car. So we filmed it, didn't tell the commentators. So the reaction from Adam Smith, he's here! You know, that was him reacting in real time. And it's extraordinary. And I've watched it, no exaggeration, 50 times. And every time I watch it, I get goosebumps. If there's awards for a moment like that, it should get it, because I think it's unbelievable. And I think when we look back on the year of all sport in 2025, that for me will be the best moment. And then you have the fight. Unbelievable. You know, you can't really script these things, but if you could, you would have written it exactly like that. Just two guys who refused to lose, who refused to go down, who refused to quit, who refused to stop fighting, who refused to keep coming forward. It was amazing. Will we see it again? Who knows? But I think I'd like to.
Definitely as well. And then we've got a massive bumper weekender. I was talking to promoter Johnny Clark, top tier. Obviously, he's at the end of this month, but I was saying if you buy your DAZN subscription just for the month, if you bought it from Eubank Benn, you have Eubank Benn, you have Times Square, you have Canelo Skull, then then it's Kakashi Wood, then it's Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen, and then it's
you're looking for a job. Is that what you're trying to do?
If you want to give me one, Michael, it's fine. And then you've got the GBM show, and then Taylor Esserman, and then top tier.
There you go.
I mean, talk about the products. We always talk about the product in boxing and undercards and stuff. That is, even if you buy 1 month of DAZN, buy more. But if you buy even 1 month, that's excellent, isn't it? The product is there for this month.
Look, we are the global home of boxing. It's a marketing line, clearly, but it's also true, right? It can't be denied. We'll do over 185 events this year. But as you've just highlighted, what we've got coming up in May, what we'll be announcing for June as well. We've obviously announced June 7th at Ipswich Stadium. We've got rest of the month, and then you've got this in July, and all the fights that we're planning for July, August onwards. It's a brilliant time to be a boxing fan, it's a brilliant time to be a DAZN subscriber, because you're just not going to miss any action if you're a DAZN customer, because we have got the biggest and the best fights from all around the world.
Definitely as well. And I mean, I have to talk about Times Square and Canelo Skull. Obviously, sometimes broadcasters wouldn't really put those two. They'd spread them out. Then you get,
of course.
But DAZN I don't want to say taking a gamble, but you put two massive events back to back from each other. I mean, what are you guys anticipating from such a blockbuster weekend with, I mean, 6 global stars of boxing, not just the main event as well?
Well, look, we have a great relationship with Ridout season and His Excellency, and then that's now extended into Ring Magazine. So, it's a collaborative effort when we choose these dates, when we choose these venues. Some things are more dictated than others, and this is probably one of those in terms of the dates. But it makes sense to bundle them together. So if you only want to watch one, you can buy one. But we think we're offering amazing value with the bundle. If you buy 2, you get to see 2 brilliant events. Times Square will be unique, not only just for the setting, but in terms of the strength of the card, it's fantastic. And then who doesn't want to watch Canelo? And his opponent, William Skull, maybe not everybody knows about him, but he's a real live opponent. It's a proper fight, and it'll be his debut in Saudi Arabia for Canelo. So it's a really big night. It's a massive weekend following another massive weekend, and as you say, huge weekends on the horizon.
Definitely as well. When you look at Canelo, I think Canelo and AJ, would you consider those two the rise of DAZN in boxing and in sport? Would you put it down to Canelo and Anthony Joshua? Would those be the two?
I think we've helped each other, right?
Of course, yeah, of course.
When we got into boxing 5 or 6 years ago with Matchroom, it was the idea to really launch a global platform. Boxing is a sport that resonates globally. It's also a sport from a rights perspective that's accessible globally. You can't go and buy the Premier League in every single market. You go and buy it region by region. With boxing, you can do these global deals, and it's enabled us to get a global footprint. And that's helped the boxers. When we go and speak to promoters like Queensberry, you're going and saying, well, we're not just a really big broadcaster in the UK, but we're a massive broadcaster in a whole host of other markets. So it's great exposure for them as a brand. It's brilliant exposure for their fighters. And it's great for our fans because they're now watching brilliant fights every single weekend of the year, available globally.
Definitely as well. Final one from me.
Sure.
Your opinion now. One fighter.
Nobody cares.
No, I do. One fighter
Yeah.
you want to see on DAZN within the next by the end of 2025. Who is that one fighter?
You know what? And this is going to be a controversial opinion. I've missed KSI.
Okay.
And I really want to see KSI back, actually. And I think there's some really, really fun fights for KSI. He brings in obviously a totally different audience, but his event's such good fun. And we've got so many incredible traditional boxing events at the moment that everything I've ever wanted from a boxing perspective is being delivered. So the thing that I actually would love to see is KSI against Jake Paul. That's what I really want, because I think that would just be huge and so much fun. And I'm in the fun business.
Definitely as well. And I mean, I was telling to Vidal Riley on the last week, the reason why I got into boxing, the whole Misfits stuff, and now I have a job in it. So it's great. Michael, I'll leave it there. You've been a star. Thank you very much.
Good to meet you.
You too. Thank you.